Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. I give the call to Member for Fisher.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I've been involved in the building industry for 30 years before I came into this place, as a builder, as a carpenter and joiner, and then as a construction law barrister. And I have never heard so much tripe in my life, apart from perhaps when I was on building sites. But that's another point. Madam Deputy Speaker, I won't make that mistake. I promise you I will not make that mistake a second time. The Australian Building and Construction Commission forms a vitally important role in our industrial relations and construction sector landscape. Now, I've heard those members opposite talk about how the ABCC doesn't do this and it doesn't do that. Of course, the CFMEU are as pure as the driven snow, absolutely pure as the driven snow. There's nothing to see here. That's why, who is it? CFMEU. Now, out of the CFMEU, let's have a look and see, the Mining and Energy Division are so impressed with their construction colleagues. What they've done, they've just brought an application to the Fair Work Commission to seek to be de-amalgamated from them. Such is their disgust in the way that their colleagues in the construction union, in the construction division, how they handle themselves. And they in fact cite in their application, Madam Deputy Speaker, 145 separate infractions, breaches of the Fair Work Act, as to why they want to be cut loose from this mob. And that's the second lot. I mean, there's also the manufacturing division that prior to that also brought an application to disassociate themselves from those fine, upstanding gentlemen in the construction sector. So, those members opposite can come in here and talk the big talk about how the ABCC are terrible and they haven't done this and haven't done that. Case after case after case, the federal court has held that the CFMEU are the most recidivist industrial organisation in this country that continues to break laws in this country. Now, that is very hard for those members opposite to hear. Why? Because they continue to receive significant funding from the CFMEU. I understand somewhere around about $10 million in donations to the Labor Party over the last 10 years. Now, I can understand why that is a source of discomfort. Premier Malinauskas from South Australia was so discomforted that he actually ordered the return of those political donations back to the CFMEU. And yet the Federal Labor Party continues to take donations from an organisation that, quite frankly, has made its bread and butter in breaking the law. Now, I have spoken with people I know personally who are involved, and in fact I have seen it in my old days as a chippy working on building sites in Melbourne, albeit from the BLF days. But it is standard de rigueur practice, standard de rigueur process of the CFMEU to harass, to hunt down, and in fact, through practices like third-line forcing, deny businesses from stepping foot onto building sites where those businesses do not employ CFMEU labour. Now, we have laws against that. John Howard introduced laws about freedom of association. Prior to those laws coming in, every building site in Victoria had a big sign on the front gate that said, "No ticket, no start." As in, if you're not a member of the BLF, which was the precursor to the CFMEU, you could not get a job on this building site. Now, we brought an end to that, and it was a good thing too. But what we are now seeing is the CFMEU muscling up to small businesses and large businesses alike, but particularly small businesses, and saying, if you don't have a CFMEU-approved EBA, if you're not employing registered union labour, you will not only get a job on this site, but we will shut you down on every other site in Queensland. And that is wrong, and that is what the ABCC is designed to fix.
I give the call member for